Well, clearly the war against this public health emergency is far from over. So let's join Dr. Shalom Oni, a public health physician. He joins us right here in our Lagos studio this afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Coyote.
Let's see if we can pick up from where we stopped with Professor Happy. What is the single most important lesson that COVID-19 has taught you, perhaps as a public health physician, as an individual? Let's start from there before we move on to other things.
Well, the most important lesson I've gotten from this COVID-19 so far is that if you don't put systems and structures in place, you are going to be badly hurt by any form of health-related events going on in the world. So Nigeria, as a country in Africa, we must put our hearts together and ensure that we don't pay lip service to health infrastructure anymore. Look at the Nigerian budget. As of today, there's an Abuja declaration. As of today, we are still struggling to keep up with Abuja declaration that talks about the percentage of health budget that must go to health. So it's a whole lot of things. Advocacy has been ongoing on this. Government has been, lobby groups have been talking to the government to ensure that health department is well funded. So going forward, if we don't put our hearts together, because when pandemic comes, you won't be able to travel out to Europe, to Germany, where you get this treatment top class. So invest in the primary health center, invest in general hospital, and invest in the tertiary too, so that we are fully kitted when such cases come up.
If you could rate our response so far, how we have put those structures and systems in place from, let's say, February the 27th, when we recorded our index case, to this moment. If you could give us a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate us so far?
Well, I would rate Nigeria 5 over 10.
That's average.
Average.
Okay, well, let's talk about our measures. So schools are gradually reopening. You just saw religious centers reopening across the country. Domestic flights have resumed. International flights will resume in the coming days. Did you really, I was speaking with Professor Happy, we're talking about eventualities. Do you foresee any, and do you think we're prepared for that? You've rated us average, by the way, but do you think we're prepared for the eventualities?
Now, let me pick up from where Professor Happy stopped. Right. In Europe, they have 14 strains already.
Strains, not lineages?
Sorry, variants already.
Okay, right.
Variants. In fact, there is when COVID-19 kicked off, we had the D614. But now there's a mutation to D614G. In fact, the current global spread we are having is as a result of D614G. It's there. The statistics are there in Turkey, in UK, in Europe, Russia, all over. However, I'm starting with the international flight now.
Right, go on.
The tendency of importing a strain, another strain, or another lineage, according to the prof, it's very high. So this is the time when we must give the molecular biologist a voice. They must come on board to ensure that we come up with the right surveillance system. In fact, they must be well funded right now, so that those who are being quarantined, those who are going in and out and being quarantined, they go beyond just testing. You are also doing a genomic sequencing
so you're a step ahead
for those who are positive, so that if there's a new entry of a strain or another genome in Nigeria, we can pick it. He rightly said that we have 10. But with this opening of international flight, we could have more than 10 in the next couple of weeks. So our surveillance system, our molecular biology surveillance system must be strong, so that at every slight entry, we are able to pick a new entry.
Oh, wow. And do you see us doing that already?
For me, I think we have the capacity to do it when we are willing to.
Well, this is something I've heard a lot. We have the capacity, but we're not deploying it.
So we need to put our hands together and do it. We need to actually come to the table and do it.
Okay, so we can do it, right?
We can do it.
Okay, let's talk about this, home care. I know it's a topic that was talked about at some point, but
yes.
It appears to me as though there's no template, really, that people can say, okay, this is how to go about it. I mean, you have said, health experts have said, there's a tendency to maybe overwhelm our health system. So maybe we should look at home care. Is there anything about that?
Yeah, something has been ongoing on home care. But let me start by saying, home-based care of COVID-19 kicked off by default. How do I mean? Around May, June, the government declared, especially in Lagos, that the number of cases, that are COVID-19 cases on the streets, are more than the ones in isolation. So as a result of that, home-based care has already kicked off on the existing structure of surveillance that is at the local government and ward level. However, there has been some training ongoing by National Primary Care Development Agency even by State Ministry of Health. They've been training laboratory health workers, they've been training logisticians, and they've been training doctors and community health workers that will now ensure that at least you do a visit to a positive COVID-19 case in their house, then you complete the 14 days or 21 days, as the case may be, by phone.
While the care is happening at home.
It's happening at home. So the structure now is kicking off. However, the home-based care thing has kicked off, by default.
I mean, it started way before we even...
Exactly, that's it.
Wow, I mean, great insights there, Dr. Shalom Oni. But I'd like to thank you so much, public health physician. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's head outside the country. Wuhan, China used to be the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic when it first hit the world. Well, over 6 months after, many countries are still battling to contain the spread of the virus, but it seems that Wuhan is back to its old normal. Well, pictures from the weekend show thousands of people packed shoulder to shoulder with no face masks in sight, frolicking on rubber floats and cheering along to a music festival. Well, it's not a very 2020 image, if you ask me, but it was a scene this weekend in the Chinese city of Wuhan, where COVID-19 first emerged late last year. We'll take a look at our website, channelstv.com, where you can get access to stories in different areas from business, health, politics, sports, Africa, and around the world. Like this one, Nigeria confirms 417 new COVID-19 cases set to resume international flights, and so much more, all at your fingertips. Well, that's the COVID-19 update. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu. Do stay healthy and stay safe.